Now, Peggy, the ANC is going to push back, right? And its supporters and the proponents of Black economic empowerment, of empowerment policies, or at least of the current empowerment policies. They are going to say to you, Peggy, we have to address the injustices of the past. We need to close the gap between the rich and the poor, between the blacks and whites, right, in the country. That you need to have preference policies or race-based policies, or black economic empowerment as it is to address our past. As an economist, how would you respond to that? If it's not BE, then what kind of empowerment do we need as South Africa?
I started off talking with you, Pumlani, with a whip towards the ANC, but actually I'd like to give credibility to the ANC, which is going to answer your question. There was actually massive redress that was done in this country that I think is not often shed light on. If you look at the track record of the own ANC, the ANC that has resulted with this growth number that we're looking at right now, it was a completely different administration just 17 years ago. Follow that trend from 1994 until 2008. And I'll explain this from a rural South African, a grandmother in the Eastern Cape, who was a late grandmother, for example, went to bed in 1994 without having electricity. Her kids as well, struggling to find education as well as employment. Fast forward that track from 1994 until 2008, and what she has, instead of having to make a fire at night for warm meals, she has an oven in her house, and her kids have been educated as well as that have had jobs. Those are the numbers that the ANC once achieved, where if you look at the proportion of households that went to bed without electricity for cooking, in 1994 it was about 49%. Follow that same indicator, that number declines to 20%. Those number of people employed, it was about 8 million in 1994, and follow that number until 2008, and it has nearly doubled. There was indeed redress that was occurred, and that redress was accomplished with a growth number averaging about 5% between 2004 and that of 2007. We were growing at the same rate as emerging markets, which is why I'm so hopeful and bullish of the long-term trajectory of this country, because we once achieved that. And we achieved that because we were right on policy. We were ruthless when it came to the leadership within the structures of the ANC compared to where we are right now. It takes that level of toughness in order for South Africa to pivot from its stagnation that we've seen over the past 10 years and emulate what we've seen in its early decades. And that is how you achieve redress. There's nothing wrong with redressing the past injustices.